Jim and Terry Show on a bright sunny day. It's cold, but it's sunny, and the snow's almost all gone. Happy spring.
Yeah, I didn't hear any of that. I had my ears plugged. So
If it hurts in your eyes, it's your ears.
I don't know if you were saying it was a nice day out.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I was talking about how the blueberries.
Oh, yeah. I blueberry
No, that was the
pancakes.
last episode. But you didn't notice, unless you parked your car and went around the back, which you didn't because you entered the front with a shave
I was
and a haircut.
thinking
Not.
about doing that, though.
Well, you would have noticed something different. I was busy woodworking
Really?
on the back deck. The first sunny day we got, I thought this is a good day to get out there with some saws and buy some lumber and build something. So I did.
What'd you build?
Well, you have to go out and see.
Well, I
it.
will, but our audience can't see
Oh,
no matter
okay.
what.
Well, does the word trellis mean anything to you? It's
Trellis.
trellis. It's a wood structure made of, you know, the way plaster and lathing is, the lathing strips.
Oh, yeah.
Well, using that as a way to create a structure for vines to grow.
Oh, okay.
So we have a wild grapevine on the west side, gets all the afternoon and early evening sun. We've tried last year with string. I made a string mesh lattice work to guide the vine up, testing the theory of would the vine provide decent shade for the sunny afternoons in the blistering heat of summer? And the answer is it worked, and it was nice. And now Kim said, well, time for a more permanent structure, a trellis. So
she got
did.
her belt on and she went out there.
She helped me plan it and told me what the specifications
okay.
were, and it was up to me to draw my plans and figure it all out and get the wood and get the wood screws and know exactly how I'm going to level this and square it all. And she helped put the frame up, and then I did all the lattice work in between.
Oh, so it's a square lattice.
Yes, it's not the diagonal.
Yeah.
We do have that other stuff, but this is homemade, made to Kim's specifications.
Wonderful.
Bob the Builder is still at it.
Now you do that with your cucumbers too, and now you got me interested.
Okay, I'm going to have to do that because we need the cucumbers to grow this year.
I know someone who owns a greenery, as you know.
Yes.
And the people that have taken over that greenery for now is what I've saw them do. They have inside the greenhouse, they run a string from the base of the tomato plant
To the ceiling.
to the ceiling, and it just goes up the string. They
So-
may have to wind it, but there's no height, there's no nothing.
That theory to our backyard garden means I've got to find
A bar goes
a
across.
bar
that's
that
all.
goes across at an 8-foot, 6-foot elevation.
Well, I
whatever
think
it
you're
is.
really safe at 8 or 7.
So it's just a standard 2x4x8 kind of
I
thing.
mean,
or
if
a
it gets
2x2.
that tall, let the thing roll over and fall back down the other
Yeah,
side.
you'll get the cucumbers wherever they
Yeah,
fall.
but that was tomatoes.
Yeah.
And the tomatoes were just following the line up. Now, I'm sure they go and they get the little, twist it around it.
You've got the tomato baskets. Do you ever use those? We use
Yeah,
those
but
all the
this
time.
is way better,
Really?
way cleaner. It's just a string right up. And
That wouldn't support a tomato plant, would
it does. Well, I mean, it has to be reasonably strong string, but,
More like a rope or twine than a
no,
string.
very thin string. It was just a string. The plants aren't
Well,
that
you're
heavy.
giving me ideas, and then it's almost
Yeah.
time for the gardening season.
What I'll do is this season, I'll try to remember to take a picture of it and show you.
Well, by the time you take the picture and show me, it'll be too late. We'll have put the stuff in, and
You're
it'll
not dying next year. It's the following year.
the following year. No, I want to get it going now. What about now? How about now?
I just told you how it's done.
You did. Okay, we're going to take a look at Comedy Central. Actually, it's not Comedy Central. It's Seth Meyers, comedian, but having a serious conversation about, well, it was Super Tuesday this past Tuesday. It means the Republicans have pretty well chosen Trump. So just a reminder of all the things that Trump lies constantly, 30,000 lies while he was in office. Another, I do check his Truth Social every once in a while, so I'm estimating 5 to a dozen, sometimes more than 2 dozen lies any given day,
Any
times
given day,
365 times 4 years. So there's, another 60,000 lies regularly on Truth Social. And anybody who takes him seriously, really, America, I have no hope for you if there are millions of these people who vote for this guy. But let's
He
take a
lies
look.
straight to their face.
Let's take a look at what Seth Meyers says.
Well, here we are, you guys. Donald Trump is now the presumptive GOP nominee for president again for a third time, despite the fact that he's a twice impeached, four-time criminal indictee and racist who's been found liable for fraud and sexual abuse, banned from doing business in the state of New York for 3 years, owes over $500 million in fine, took millions from foreign governments while he was president, tried to extort a foreign country to interfere in an election in 2020, and encouraged another to help him win in 2016, actively undermined the nation's response to a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic, and let a deadly disease spiral out of control. It's about to go on trial for breaking campaign finance laws by paying hush money to cover up an affair during the 2016 campaign. Orchestrated a months-long coup attempt that culminated in a violent insurrection to disrupt the peaceful transfer of power and install him as an unelected dictator. Stole classified documents and obstructed attempts to get them back, has never once won the popular vote and has been routinely rejected by a majority of Americans in election after election. Spews deranged conspiracy theories about everything from climate change to immigration to vaccines to windmills. Glitches on 3-syllable words, 2-syllable words, and 1-syllable words. Cheats at golf. Can't spell his own name, his wife's name, or the words indicted, education, unprecedented, stolen, Denmark, Kentucky, or tap. And is, on top of everything else, the single weirdest and most off-putting human being on the face of the planet.
There you go. Words from Seth Meyers. And he had to take breaths in between because that was 1 minute and 20 seconds worth of highlights of the Trump 4 years and the intervening 4 years while Biden's been in his first term of all the things that he has claimed, said, done, misspoke, misdone.
Not in a lifetime. Since he's been running for president.
Yes.
Like 10 years, or whatever it's been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 8 years, 10 years. That's just in that time period, which we know about this guy. And what Seth Meyers says, it's as hilarious, but sad as hell.
Yes.
That there's still people who are going to go, yeah, but everybody's crooked.
Or because Seth Meyers is a comedian, and comedians are usually critics from the left side of things, they're going to dismiss everything he says. But what he said, you didn't have the advantage of seeing it, but on my phone, that we just took the audio out, but on my phone, are newspaper titles and clippings from newspapers, all highlighting everything that he just said.
Well, what he said is true.
Yes.
Whether he's left wing or right wing, what he said is true, and this is something we
Yes.
all got to get over. I've often said I lean to the right, but no, Trump, no. And what he's saying is absolutely true, and I wish people would listen to it. But what happens is they'll shut it off.
Yes.
They will not listen to it. They just shut it off. And that guy is the Republicans' candidate to lead the free world.
You're going to make me cry, my friend.
This
He's
is
the Republican
a sad
candidate
situation.
to lead the free world.
It's a sad situation. Very sad.
It is. So,
And that's from someone who, if I was in the United States, I'd probably be a Republican. But I'm telling you flat out, that's a sad situation.
yeah, I've often argued this, that Jesus would never be a Republican. So you'd have a hard
He's
time.
King Jesus. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
going to set up his system.
Okay, let's sort of parse that a little bit. Take it apart and just say, number one, I said this to you this morning. Character matters. We used to teach it. I used to have to teach character education as part of the curriculum. Character matters. Truth matters. And you've got two, yes, they are both old. 77 to 81 is not a great deal of difference. So they're both in the upper ends of their life expectancies. But character matters. Don't tell me, don't go, and why, well, you get me started. I'll go off on this tangent. Why is the media, and I will blame media, mainstream media, I'm especially disappointed in the mainstream media coverage. All the time it's hammering at Joe Biden's either cognitive abilities or his physical falling off a bicycle or tripping up a stair. They focus on that instead of looking at the character of decency of this guy who respects American veterans, who passed the Veterans Aid Package so that veterans qualify for more support coming back. Send them to war, but then don't support them when they get home. What kind of America is that? Biden's working on that. Trump claims he did it. Just like the GOP and the infrastructure. 4 years, Trump said, infrastructure week. Next week, we're going to sign it into law. Nothing happens. Biden gets in, infrastructure week. And all of a sudden, bridges are being built. train tracks are being repaired. Everything's going well, but Republican representatives in the House and the Senate are taking credit for it when they opposed everything that Biden has done. So again, character matters. Tell the truth, stick to the truth. Tell a lie. Well, if you stick to the lie, at least you're consistent, and maybe that has merit, but you're consistently lying, and there is no place in heaven for liars.
Well, there isn't. Thank God for forgiveness. But that, if I was Biden, I think I would present it along the line of, everybody's talking about my age, how old I am. I am old. I am old.
Yes, I think he has to
but
own
I'm
it.
not dead yet. I'm still going. And when I get tired, I have a nap, like most people do. That kind of thing. I wouldn't be running for president if I didn't think I could do it. That just doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. But the main reason I'm running for president is because you need someone like me in there, not someone like Trump.
Yep.
Because I would take Biden if I had to choose. It would be Biden over Trump.
Well, this is
Absolutely.
what Nikki Haley's going to have to choose now that she's out of the race. She resigned from the race this week.
Oh, they all disappoint me.
But Mitch McConnell, who on January 7th or January 6th, maybe it was on that night after the insurrection, got up to the podium as they ratified the election results and Biden won, called out Trump and called him in no uncertain terms unfit for office, that he's responsible. And yet, 2024, he's backed Trump. Yeah. How can you do this?
Well, I don't know how you can. But this is why you and me will not ever be in those positions. And thank God, I don't want that temptation. No. I really don't want that temptation.
Do you think they've all fell to temptation?
I do. Absolutely.
So is it power that is the allure?
It's power, it's money. Power and money. I mean...
How much power do you need and how much money do you need?
I don't know why...
You and I are in my basement.
I don't know why, if I was Trump or if I was Biden, why I would be working for being to be president. I don't know why you would want to take on that crummy, stinking job.
I think
it's got to be a power thing, or a moral. God's put me here for this reason.
No, it's all about Trump. Always has been about Trump, and I think he made. And I think you're not supposed to make money while you're in office.
Of course, he made
his
money.
Family, the hotel across the street.
You're not allowed to make money over crime. He's made hundreds of millions of dollars, Terry.
Criminally.
I don't know why this is allowed.
Yes,
it's not going to him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to his anything other than him.
Yep.
I'm sorry, it's going exactly to him. So every time he's in court and shows up, he's getting funded millions of dollars. He's benefit from crime.
Who is doing the funding? Stay tuned for the Jim and Terry Show. Bye-bye for now.